What's up, guys? Archaic Zeus, and this is going to be a quick look at the game Gnomoria, which is currently a indie game in early access. It is a sandbox village management game, which is currently in version 0.9.6, in case you were curious. And just going to preface this video saying that we were graciously given an interview with the guy who created the game, Robert West, and the interview was pretty awesome, so you should check that out. The link's going to be down below. And, of course, with that being said, he mentioned, of course, a lot about developing the game and all that fantastic stuff, but he also mentioned his plans sort of after the game and hinted at a couple other interesting little tidbits. So, without much further ado, let's just take a quick look at the options menu just to give you a rundown, because some indie games don't have the most adept option system, and this one actually has a pretty awesome option system. Now, of course, you have your windowed, resolution, blah, 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 blah. Your audio, though, is where I think is probably one of the coolest features in this game lies, and that is you can change your music style. I'm assuming you might be able to mod it to actually change the style to even other things, or just add a completely different soundtrack, of course, but you can change it from orchestral to classic, and vice versa. So this is what the classic sounds like. I'm just going to shut up to let you guys listen to it. And the orchestral. So those are the two different music styles you can go with, and they are pretty awesome. Of course, your gameplay, normal kind of stuff, and controls, just control mapping, nothing too fancy. But just that option to change that music, I think, is just so awesome. And we're gonna make a quick little kingdom here, not land of bushes. Perfectly fine by me. I like me some land of bushes. Let's go land of bushes. Why not? So without much further ado, as we're generating our map, and just explaining, I guess, why it takes a comparatively, like, I guess you can compare it to like Minecraft if we really wanted to on the generation time thing. The levels below the map are just so immense that it I'm assuming takes a while to download those. And there are just a lot of different, very minute things in there. I don't know. Whatever. Who knows? It could just be the fact that I'm recording it that it might even be doing this. But anyways, this should not put you off from the game, because that was, what, 10 seconds? And I entertained you with my voice for those beautiful 10 seconds of our lives that I hope we will all share once again in the future. And here we are. This is Gnomoria. We, of course, have this fantastic graphic style, which all indie developers seem to be following, which is not a problem at all. It's that nostalgic charm of these 8-bit, 32-bit, 16-bit, 192-bit, even number bit graphics, which is fantastic. I love it. I think it's great, and it does its job well. Let's just show you the lay of the land here real quick. I'm going to zoom to the top of the map. And this is just some of the generation you could get and everything, which is super duper nice. Down here is the toolbar, the action bar, as we'll call it, I suppose. And let's get down to the level. There we go. Back down to our level. So now we're down to there, and we're just going to queue up a couple of things. I do want to show off one thing that I just absolutely appreciate in this game that other games sometimes lack. So I had clicked on the fell trees button to set up an action. I want to chop these 3 trees, but then I decided I want to chop more than just these 3 trees. And then I can do this, and I can click it again. Other games, like Towns, for instance, you would have to click it, do the command, and then click it again, and do the command again. So it's very generally irritating to me to have to do that, and I like that that's just not so much of an issue. We're going to set our guys up here to gather some things, forage some things. Don't know what kind of trees they are. They look like oranges. Looks like a new type of tree since last I played. What is that? Is that apple? That is an orange. I was right. It is an orange tree. So, of course, you gather your resources, and all resources are used for different things, and you create workshops and stuff, and all that other fun stuff. And I'm just going to pause the game here real quick to show you guys the menus and whatnot. And if you look at the top right of the screen up here, it says first day of spring, year 1, sunset at that specific time. Over here you have your depth, your food, your drink. So, you know, we're at sea level, I guess you could say. How much food you have on the map, how much drink you have on the map, like active, like usable. It's not counting like food in trees still kind of thing. But every season, whenever a season passes, I believe so, every season passes, you get like a new shipment of gnomes, as it were. Comparatively, like the amount of gnomes you get is, you know, equates somewhat to how much you have currently compared to your total wealth of your kingdom, which is awesome. Your diplomacy, which wasn't too fleshed out last time I played. And then it shows all your workshops, farms, pastures, and rooms that you have in your kingdom. Your stocks shows you all the items in the area. And now one thing I definitely want to praise this game on very much, again, is that games like sandbox village management games need a lot of micromanaging features. And this one kind of nails this one, which I have to give it props for. Is that you can set infinite amount of jobs. So like, let's say I have 40-something gnomes. I'll need them to do so many different things, and you can just see all the different categories. There are plenty of categories alone, and then when you open up all these categories, there are many different things in here. So like the miner is tasked mining, masonry, and stone carving. Well, what if I wanted, you know, maybe I didn't want him to do mining, maybe I want him to just be kind of like a craftsman, maybe I just want him to do masonry and stone carving. I can make a totally different job for that, and I could assign that to a completely different gnome over here, which is fantastic. Just, I love it. I absolutely love it. And then default uniform and stuff like that, you change and blah. You can change the uniform of what the job types wears and stuff. You can do that for your army and whatnot. Now, one of my gripes with the game is that the end game kind of doesn't really warrant itself so much. Like, okay, you get to a certain point, which is like maybe halfway through the game in my eyes. Although, because this is, of course, a sandbox game, halfway through the game could be very different to someone else. But halfway through the game, to me, I had so much stuff that it didn't matter what they sent at me, because there are random encounters throughout the game where they're like enemies come at overnight or whatever, and they come and attack you. It didn't really matter how much they sent at me or what they sent at me, because I had traps, I had a really strong army, I had unlimited amounts of bandages and things, so it didn't really matter to me. And because of that, mining just became a chore and something unnecessary, because I didn't really need anything else from the mines. I really just had a factory going. I just had a refinement status where I just didn't really have to worry about anything. So that's where my one gripe comes in, where mining kind of becomes sort of useless at a certain point, and you just kind of have to block off your cave, because things will spawn in the dark, and you have to deal with those things, you have to waste resources on that, when it's just much easier to get to whatever point you need to get to, and then say, okay, well, I'm done. And I've been standing still for quite a while, just kind of talking. I apologize. I got into my own head there for a little bit. We're going to... What are we going to do? I wanted to do something. What is it that I do? Right, terrain. Is that it? Remove ramp. There we go. That's the button I wanted. And we're just going to remove that. Done. Mission accomplished. And we're going to fell our trees. Hopefully you're watching our gnomes being entertaining, because I certainly was just hoping my voice would carry me through. So I apologize for that. But anywho, you gotta get to the mining. And because this game, the interface itself is not confusing, but like where to start in this game, of course, is very confusing. It can be very, very daunting on what the heck you're actually supposed to do in this game. I'm just gonna build like a wall just for building things purposes. How can I build? Where is that? Nope. Yep. And because of that, you're not necessarily forced to look up a guide on the game, but it certainly just makes the experience that much better, because then you know what to do. So you're enticed to look up guides and what to do in the game. So you enjoy the game more, of course. But with that being said, when you look up the guides, you also are introduced to the community of this game in such a natural way, and it's a really great thing that you're introduced to that community. And in the interview that Robert West gave us, he showed us, he said that he really likes seeing the community of this game grow, and I have to agree with that. You know, you're looking at the community, you have the knowledgeable people helping out the new people, and you have the knowledgeable people talking to other knowledgeable people about, you know, minute details and things and how exactly other things work and all that fun stuff. So it really, really is awesome in that aspect. So personally, for me, Gnomoria is a great game that I spent a lot of time on. I think I put like 40 hours on it in like a week's time because of how addicting it was, and it was awesome. Of course, no game is without problems, and it's also not finished yet, so there you go. And there's going to be more stuff added after the release of the game. So we built ourselves a little shack thing, and that's really all I wanted to show you. I just wanted to show off the game in a video and talking about it, and then of course saying several times that we got that interview with Robert West. So you check out that interview down in the link below that we're going to leave for you guys. And of course, if you like what you've watched so far, don't forget that like and subscribe button. And if you're interested, you can purchase Gnomoria through Steam, through Desura, or better yet, through their own personal website, gnomoria.com/downloads. Or just gnomoria.com, and you can of course click on downloads or whatever, purchase. And that's it. So thank you again so much for watching. Thank you, Robert West, for the interview. And don't forget to check out RageQuitGG.com, guys. That's where the interview is. So if you didn't click the interview link, then just type that in and you'll see it anyways. Thank you guys so much. I will see you next time. Toodles!